You can see him there against Richardson, almost sticking to him like man for man. The press is more succinct, more numbers already, more U.S. shirts already in there to try and cause turnovers.
Former Olympian Tim Howard alongside me, Jay Spage, as we watch Morocco attack for the first time in the second half with Ezel Zoumi. Now El Khanous. In goes Zimmerman. He's convinced that should be a goal kick, I think, but it's a corner that's been given.
They should get a good look at it here. 6-1, half a dozen of another, you know. See Zimmerman there, emotional, but no subs at halftime for the U.S. And I've been in this position before. One is imminent. I can assure you. The manager said, "Listen, you got 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm making a change if nothing changes." So we should see some real intent from these U.S. players coming out of the halftime break.
They need to find some energy, whether that be from a change or just some motivational half-time words. I'm sure the overage players would have had plenty to say at half-time to try and galvanise the team, show that leadership.
Yeah, these are the moments that they need those strong leaders. And look, the U.S. just needed a reset. They're not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Continue to try and play their football. Recognize they are getting pressed, but they can play out of it. They've shown the ability to do that as well. And understand that Morocco was really good in the first half. I think they took their best punch, and they're still going to have to continue to chip away at this game. But there's nothing there for the U.S. to be afraid of.
Such a massive couple of days for the U.S. men and women, both in their quarterfinals at the Parc des Princes in Paris. The U.S. women who'll play here tomorrow. They face Japan. The winner of this tie in the men's event will play either Japan or Spain in the semi-final. They meet in Lyon later on today. Paredes, now Aronson, got the shot away but blocked by El Wadi, and now the US have a corner.
And I thought Aronson did the right thing there, El Wadi. It's a good block. Tolkien on the outside wants it. He wants him to shift it one more time because he was probably in a really good crossing position, but ultimately that's your striker. There's your goal scorer there. He gets it half a yard to take a shot. He must do it, and he does so. And again, credit El Wadi for the block. But these are moments that the U.S. can take full advantage of. They've got good leapers in the box.
Sent in by Mihailovic. Testament. The sufficient power on that difficult. He was always backing away from goal.
Yeah, and Hakimi does the right thing. He puts him under pressure. Just makes him have to hand fight him a little bit so he can't really gain momentum and get off the ground and punch that header down. And it's a really easy save there for Joy.
Simple save, but that's the US's first attempt on target of the match. It's their first corner since the opening minute. Need to show the intent now. Remember, they've scored 7 goals in their last 2 games before this one.
It's a higher line of confrontation from this U.S. team. They just have to find the right trigger. Slow back pass, a pass that has bobbles, a sideway pass. You can then really creep up and get a tackle in and make it difficult.
There's a foul there seen off the ball as Rahimi went over. Zimmerman is the guilty party. He's bemused as to why that was given. Just see the two of them there. US number 3, the Moroccan number 9.
You know, you can see Zimmerman shaking his head there. Sometimes in our sport, a referee decides on the day he's just going to be the main focal point of the game. And unfortunately for the players and the spectators alike, they didn't come there to see the referee, and this referee believes they did. And he just constantly has his whistle in his mouth. I mean, there's nothing in that. You have a striker who likes to go to ground. He's shown that the entire tournament. There's nothing. There's a coming together. There's a little bit of hands on hand. This happens. He doesn't have to get involved, the referee, at all turns.
The Japan-Spain quarter-final that follows this one. Another two ties today. See Egypt face Paraguay. And set to be a mouth-watering heavyweight clash with plenty of ill-feeling too between France and Argentina later in Bordeaux. It's a foul on Paredes by Zakari El Wadi. Right under the nose of Marko Mitrovic.
Mitrovic wanted the yellow card there. We've seen those referee give those, so I understand why he's asking, but it wasn't to be.
And Wadi forward, blocked by Aronson.
And these long straight balls in Aronson aren't his bread and butter. They're really difficult to control. These long 20, 30-yard balls wrapped into him. They need to just change the angle slightly. They can still play the ball into him because he'll take it under pressure, but just slightly change the angle. He can come off the front a little bit more, and it will give him the opportunity to be on the half turn so he can see the defender coming.
But there was a shift in the approach in terms of the US attack. First two games, they had Duncan Maguire as the number 9, the focal point. And then for the last match, he was left out to allow for Griffin Yao to enter the starting 11. Maguire, an option off the bench today. Taylor Booth, likewise. Benjamin Kramaki. We may see them enter the fray in the near future.
Just right where the referee is. The U.S. has had a difficult time finding that little pocket of space that he's occupying. Morocco's done a great job of just shutting those passing lanes down.
Aronson there out towards Paredes. Acrobatic. Better move for the USA.
Don't mind that. He signaled his intent here. He wasn't going to take it down. He was going for goal. And I'll tell you what, gets good contact on it. It's a good block in the end from El Wadi, but really good technique from the U.S. number 7.
And a throw for which Zimmerman moves up for the back. So Harriot might go along here for the USA. And he does do. Towards Zimmerman, and that came the goalkeeper with a good punch. There's Ozuli.
Good moment for the U.S. to press. Quick regain. You have to see Tolkien trying to take that on his chest. Kind of lets Morocco off the hook there. Goalkeeper Kajoy does well. The U.S. missed an opportunity to regain, let it go through their keeper, and go again.
An issue here for Munir El Khajoui, the Moroccan keeper. It's just gone down and the physio's coming on. He was outstanding in the first match when they beat Argentina, made a string of terrific saves. He's 35 years of age, the oldest player in the Morocco squad. He's been to 2 FIFA World Cups.
It's good, brave goalkeeping there. El Khajoui takes a knock, likely from his own player. That's what happens as a goalkeeper. You come out into a crowd, it's anyone's guess.
Arsene Wenger amongst those watching on at the Parc des Princes today, the former Arsenal boss. He was in charge of the Arsenal Invincibles, who won the Premier League title 20 years ago.
What a manager he was. Just everything he meant to Arsenal Football Club and the English game. He's immense. He's absolutely immense, and I'm sure there's a lot of lucky fans there today that get to see this game, but also get to come in contact with Arsene Wenger.
So El Khajoui is fine, the Moroccan goalkeeper. Still lead to Brahimi's first half penalty. I mentioned that match against Argentina when they were 2 up, but it wasn't a comfortable lead for them. It was almost 2-2. You remember that Christian Medina goal, but never was for Argentina. It almost earned them a point that was ruled out by VAR late in stoppage time. The US can get at them. This defence can be tested. They conceded a goal against Ukraine in their second group game. They lost 2 goals rather. They lost that game by 2 goals to 1, losing to a stoppage time goal.
We only saw it once in the first half, but we did see the U.S. camp out, get into that final third and camp out, and just use the ball, make Morocco have to bite on things they don't want to, because right now Morocco's comfortable. They're playing on the front foot. They don't have to defend off the back foot. They don't have to defend in 2 blocks and a low block. And you want them to do that and just start to ask questions. Say, how aggressive do you want to be in these moments? But you have to get them there first.
You need to see Yao get into the game as well. The way he collect the ball and drift past opponents. He's such a key figure. The USA can get going. Tessman looking for Tolkien, who won the header. Aronson was there. Now Elwani. There's Ozuli, challenged by Harriel. Referee played the advantage. There was a foul scene. Agadius Akamash, Morocco's number 10. Supported by the captain Hakimi. That's into a good area. Schulte with the palm away. And Paredes, he was fouled. That will be a card. So a yellow card for Bilal Al-Khanous, who is a player who, as things stand right now, would miss a Moroccan semi-final. Second yellow card of the tournament for Bilal Al-Khanous.
Yeah, you can just see the 2 hands on his back as he's going to ground. It's a foul. Ball just gets helped into a dangerous area there, and Schulte can't take any chances. Has to try and push it out to the back post and does so, and U.S. clear the danger. But it's in these moments when Morocco want to press. We saw Harriel do it a minute ago. Get the ball and run it out. Even if you do an underlap and you drive into the middle of midfield as a fullback, it's a way to break the press. Because if they don't think you're going to do that, and you're going to just pass sideways, all that's going to do is encourage them to continue to press further. Take the ball and drive it.
Tolkien. Jack McGlynn.
See, it's here, Joe. They don't need a goal. Just need to control possession and create a tempo.
Tolkien with the cross. It's a corner. And we are seeing more signs now of the US becoming a threat. McGlynn, with his right foot, finds Paredes. Got the shot away. It was a powerful shot which saw him score the goal a few days ago against Guinea with that left foot. He's done well there to win that back. Ariel, Paredes. Tessman now. Clipped in well by him. Zimmerman. Robinson! Oh, a big chance. For Miles Robinson, the 2 centre-halves combining.
It almost falls to the wrong person, doesn't it? You're just thinking, if that's not a center back, with all due respect, there might be some cleaner contact. You can see what a good chance that is. He has to catch it on the half volley and just slices across it. But the warning signs, Joe, they're there. You mentioned it. US got their tail feathers up, really feeling like they have something going here in the front third. And hopefully that will then also lead to more pressing, more energy. Because the US can take this all day. Walker, Zimmerman, and Robinson will dominate those headers. They just got to pick up the bits and the pieces so they can get back on the ball quickly.
What a chance that was for Robinson, and Aronson just behind him, but Robinson got the attempt away. Has scored 2 tournament goals for the US before. Scored the winner in the Gold Cup final 3 years ago in extra time. It was against Mexico. Just over half an hour to go now at the Parc des Princes. Targali tussling with Aronson, being fouled too by Aronson. First Olympic quarter-final. The men's event this year at the Parc des Princes. Morocco lead the USA by 1-0. Tim Howard alongside me, Joe Spate. US got better after half-time. Can they make it count? An equalising goal to try and force extra time.
And that's better. They didn't like what was on left side. Bring it back to the middle. Can't give the ball away there, though.
It's lost by Tessman. Morocco could make hay here. All through went Rahimi, and he was tackled perfectly by Zimmerman. Had to time that right. He did just that. He was committed, but it was a terrific tackle.
Yeah, he took the wrong angle, did Walker Zimmerman, but what a recovery tackle that was. That's a 100% tackle. He knows, with the experience he has, if I go to ground here, got to get it. And he knew going into that tackle he was going to get it. I have to say, Tessmann looks a little bit labored today. Looks a little slow, and that's possible. He's played so many minutes in this Olympic tournament, but he's just dwelling on the ball a little bit. It doesn't look his normal shifty self. His feet are bright and lively. We haven't seen that from him today.
It is an intense schedule for these players at these games. Match every 3 days. The US playing in its early kickoff slot today. Temperature in the low 80s. Coming up to 4:30 local time in Paris. Akamash. It's too high.
And US will take this. Akamash comes inside. But Tolkin, you can see there, he's able to get just a piece from him and get across that strike. When a defender can do that, you don't even have to tackle the ball. You just get across that swinging leg, and it really puts off the striker's technique.
Morocco, one of the 4 African nations who qualified for these games. Mali and Guinea had been and gone. Were knocked out in the first phase. Egypt will try and maintain their run later on when they face Paraguay in Marseille today. As El-Zouli just kept in play. Room to move into as well. There's the ball square. It's 2-0. Put away by Ilyas Akamash. And Morocco, in their first ever Olympic knockout game, now have a 2-0 lead. And it's a long way back for the USA from here.
Well, Morocco are good on the break. We must say, and this comes from a long kick out from the US. Should never happen. See Harry there, engage the ball, should just be dropping. And as El-Zouli puts it there into the middle, Walker Zimmerman can't come out. Tolkin has to be tracking that run of Akamash. It's just a touch late. The US kind of sums up their day thus far. They've been one step short in every major action, and it cost them there. Morocco doubled their lead.
Akamash, who was born in Spain, plays for Villarreal, 20 years of age, beaming smile, replicated by those in the stands as well. It is being checked by VAR. Would there be a reprieve for the US? It looked as though the ball did just about stay in play. Remember, the whole of the ball has to go beyond the whole of the touchline for it to be deemed out. So we just await confirmation that this goal will stand. Still waiting. Well, they're partying. Akamash thumbs up for now, but it's not been confirmed yet. The Argentine referee waiting for the help from the official. That looks good to me.
Yeah, the ball never looked out for me on every look that I saw, so goal should stand.
Well, here's Duncan Maguire then, coming off the bench for the US, the man who began the opening 2 games. Omaha, Nebraska. Georgi Mihailovic is going off, so too is Griffin Yao. Taylor Booth also coming on from Eden, Utah. So 2 forward players brought on now. It has to be that way for the US, who are 2 down. The goal stands for Akamash.
Yeah, and they have to bring on Booth. They needed fresh legs. They need to have more players try and get on the ball in dangerous areas. Try and do what they can to relieve some pressure from this really intense Morocco pressure. And at a bare minimum, they need that focal point, which we've talked about over the course of the tournament. Haven't had that today. The ball hasn't stuck. Unfortunately, when it's gone up to that front three, can Maguire be that focal point? Can he ask and demand the ball, get stuck into his chest or into his feet, and get his team up the pitch, get turned, bring other players into the game? You can see how attracted those red shirts of Morocco get to the ball. Every time it goes into midfield, it's like a suction cup.
Tolkien flicked in towards Maguire. Headed down for Tessman, who took the shot on. Hot by Boukamir. Maybe over-ambitious that from Tessman, and now Morocco with a chance to pounce. Rahimi, El Zoudi. Now El Khanous. Well tackled by Harriel, and then he was fouled, so a free kick for the USA.
Some of these U.S. players, they just look a little bit leggy today. You get that, as you mentioned, it's so intense, but I'm thinking of Tessman and Harry Hill, who almost didn't put a foot wrong in the first couple of games, and then you see him today, and yes, Morocco's been fantastic on the day, and they're formidable, but we haven't seen the best from some of these players, and oftentimes that those miles on the legs over the course of a week to 10 days really does take its toll. But Mitrovic has tried to freshen it up in areas. He's done so, and so we see what Booth can do, and we can see what Maguire can do. Can he add to that? We know Aronson's going to continue his running. He's going to be able to up that pace. Paredes has shown us the same. So if those guys can get on the ball in the wide area, make something happen here. Need to find a way to get a goal quickly.
Get the ball there by Tessman out for Tolkien. Paredes, Tolkien, back towards Aronson. There's Targaline, Morocco's number 14. Still a quarter of the game to go. Back to that Robinson chance when it was just 1-0. What a moment that was to make it 1 apiece.
Yeah. Great opportunity.
Booth now, beating El Wadi. That's ball in by him, defended by Mehdi Boukamir.
And Boukamir is always in really good defensive spots, particularly in and around the penalty area. And that's his bread and butter. He knows how to defend his goal. The U.S. could do some damage here from a long throw and see if they can just block the goalkeeper off this time.
Nothing came of that for the US. Khanous there with a slice ball, which will find a way to Hakimi, who got past his man. He beat Paredes. And more danger now. Achraf Hakimi going on! It's Morocco's captain who scores their 3rd goal. Absolute euphoria for Morocco. They are rampant now. Joy for them. But this could be the end now for the USA. Achraf Hakimi, who plays here in Paris for Paris Saint-Germain. Special moments these for Morocco.
Well, the U.S. just make compound mistakes. We make compound mistakes that leads to goals. See Paredes there, doesn't win a tackle, the U.S. defenders don't close in, Paredes needs to either win or foul. The U.S. players don't come in there. It's a slow ball there in the end that beats Schulte. And you just go back to these compound mistakes on the same play. Oftentimes lead to goals, and we have not seen that from this U.S. team. But that was their undoing there.
An outstanding player, Achraf Hakimi. 3 times the league champion at Paris Saint-Germain. He won the Italian title too at Inter. The UEFA Champions League winner with Real Madrid. That calibre of player has really punished the USA now. And the task would appear to be insurmountable from this position at this stage of the game.
It's tough sledding for the U.S. going forward. They have had a whole host of ideas today. You see the change there.
Yeah, Jack McLean going off, and Josh Atencio from Seattle Sounders and MLS coming on for him. Off the bench for the 2nd match in a row. First Sound to play at the Olympic Games. The US going to see their Olympic journey end here at the Parc des Princes today, barring something extraordinary. Tobias Ben Seguir now, Morocco's youngest player in their squad, coming on in place of the flying winger, Abdi El Zouli. Morocco well on course to become the first team to enter the semi-finals of this Olympic Games. Tim Howard watching with me, Joe Spade, and watching a US team who found it so tough against, to say, elite opponents.
Yes. Yeah, and look, Morocco, they've gotten stronger as the tournament has gone on.
Tessman. Abu.
And we saw this Moroccan side against Argentina, and yes, they beat Argentina, but they didn't look this good. They didn't look with the press and the confidence of players. And of course, goals and wins change that, right? And Brahimi being leading goal scorer, just there's a lot that goes into their confidence. And right now, you would not want to play this Morocco team.
Seguir, just off the bench. Akamash. They are the top scoring team now in the Olympics, Morocco, and before the games began, I think there were some who thought they could be a dark horse, but they certainly weren't talked about amongst the real favourites. We have to change our mindset now.
They are now, and they've earned that. They've earned that in the way that they play, in the way they go about their business on the pitch. It's a real joy to see, and I think when you look across what makes a successful football team now, is every player has to be comfortable to want to take the ball. And so many of these Morocco players, whether it be in the front or the back, they're willing to take the ball under pressure in big moments and make the right decision. And that's a huge part of it, is making the right decision.
Fouled by Aronson, yellow card too for him.
Yeah, from an attacking standpoint, you don't ever really mind your attacking players getting yellow cards. They usually aren't really in the thick of it, so lay a tackle down. You see there's the goal. It's just so easy. I mean, Hakimi must be thinking in the quarterfinals, don't usually get time and space like this. Never, ever, ever gets closed down from the other side of the midfield stripe all the way to the edge of the U.S. box. And when that happens, big, big trouble. He's been fantastic. That's what you want to see from overage players. The guy who's a captain, who's seen it all. You mentioned all of his accolades. Does he come to this team and pretend as if he's bigger than the country or bigger than the shirt? And clearly not. He takes pride in being the captain of this Moroccan side, and he's shown that in his displays.
Hoping to captain Morocco to a medal here of some sort. Track and field is where Morocco have had their best success at the Olympics over the years, and long and middle distance running. Ben Seguir. In goes Tessman.
The U.S. has just never looked comfortable today. Mentioned early in the first half, the ball was there for sharing, continued to bobble around, and there wasn't any cleanness or crispness to their passing or their passage of play. And big credit goes to Morocco for pressing them at every single opportunity, and the U.S. just not really dealing with that in possession.
Harriel gave away the first half penalty, finding Booth. Can't get beyond Awani, and a great game at left back for Morocco. It's not been a weak link in the Morocco team, in truth.
Awani's done everything defensively that's been thrown at him today, everything that's been asked of him. He's answered it, passed the test, done really, really well, whether that's one-on-one defending, tucking in, defending the back post, winning headers. He's done it all.
There's Atencio for the USA. Now Targaline searching for Rahimi. Again battling with Zimmerman. 13 to go for stoppage time, which there'll be a sizable chunk for the VAR check in the wake of the second Morocco goal. Comebacks of epic proportions aren't unheard of at the Olympic Games. If you go back to 1952 in Helsinki, the Soviet Union came back from 5-1 down against the former Yugoslavia with 15 to go to draw 5-5. You never know.
There is hope. They need to get something going in this direction, though, that's for sure.
It also depends on how much stoppage time we'll see, because as we know at this tournament, it could be a big number.
In Morocco, I'm just give them huge credit.
There's Maguire, can't latch on to that.
They forced the U.S. because of their setup. They forced the U.S. to look for vertical balls constantly, and we are always calling for more verticality in the game, but it has to be a healthy dose of it. And Morocco is just not allowing this U.S. team to play underneath into these little pockets. They don't really have anybody at the moment to unlock the doors like they had in the first 2 or 3 games, and it's showing because, again, void of ideas in the attacking third. And really, when you look at what Mitrovic has left, he's rolled the dice now. These are the best players that he has that he can use either in a starting role or in a substitution role, and he's done that. He's doing his best to get these players in better positions, but you can see Morocco take the ball, spread you out. Just a fantastic display.
Until this year, Morocco had won just one of their previous 13 matches at the Olympic Games. A real force now. Off goes John Tolkien, replaced by Caleb Wiley, just 19 years of age, off the bench for the 3rd time. He'll be off to Chelsea at the end of this tournament. Big move for him, secured last week, leaving Atlanta United. So coming on, Benjamin Kramaki, the teenager from Inter Miami. Also departing as well for the US. Going off now is Amir Richardson for Morocco. It's going to be a triple change, in fact, for the North African team. This is Benjamin Bouchouari, who plays in France at Saint-Etienne. Also coming on, Yassine Keshta, who was born here in Paris, although he spent his whole club career so far up on the north coast of France, in Normandy with Le Havre. Number 15 there is Mehdi Mahou, one of the few players in their squad who plays in Morocco at Raja Casablanca. Morocco have become the first African team to score 3 goals in an Olympic match since Ghana did so against Paraguay all the way back in 1992 Barcelona Games. Brahimi's off as well in that batch of changes for Morocco. What a tournament he has had with the 5 goals he has scored for Tariq Sekhtoui's team.
Brahimi off, you just see El Khanous occupying one of the striker roles and Mahoub the other, just there.
Well, they are going to be without Bilal El Khanous for their semi-final, having been booked today. A big loss too, plays for Genk in Belgian football, a real talent for them. He was named as their player of the season in the campaign just gone in the Belgian league, scoring 3 goals. He's also won 13 senior caps in Morocco. He won his first senior cap in the World Cup 2 years ago in the 3rd place match when Morocco lost against Croatia. Ben Seguir. Booth at muscle there. Ben Seguir again.
Yeah, he's just sensing these late stages, even how easy it is for the Morocco players to turn and get turned. It's been like that for them all afternoon.
Kramaki wins a throw. Tessman. And been linked this summer with the move to the Italian giants, Inter. Reports are that deal has fallen through for now. Kramaki. Tessman. There's Atencio. Robinson. Paredes. Keshta for Morocco. Zimmerman seemed to win that cleanly, but maybe a bit of contact on the Moroccan player first. So a free kick to Morocco.
Yeah, but smart from Walker Zimmerman here. He knows he's got himself on an island with Mahoub. And he knows if he can get a tackle in and win the ball, great. If not, he makes sure he takes a foul there just to break up the momentum because he's by himself and had so many U.S. numbers flooded forward. Morocco, with the pressing that they've shown and the aggression, they've spent a lot of energy today. But that being said, this is the best case scenario for them in the quarterfinal. Get their goals, not really have to do too much dogged defending at the other end, and be able to see out the last portion of the game with somewhat ease and control. I mean, that is picture perfect in terms of how to play in the knockout stages.
Keshta. Ben Seguir. Keshta. There's Hakimi, scorer of Morocco's 3rd goal. You can't forget in the bigger picture here too, what is ultimately a youth tournament in the main, and these two nations here are actually going to be co-hosts for the next 2 World Cups. It's the USA, one of 3 hosts in 2 years' time. Morocco will co-host in 2030. So there has to be an ambition for many of the players we're seeing here to learn from this and use the experience for those big tournaments ahead.
Oh, absolutely. You would think that the makeup of both of those rosters would largely come from so many of these players, both in 2026 but also 2030. So they are big moments, they are learning moments for these players, and they'll all grow from it. Every single one of them need this Olympic tournament. They need this format, this pressure, these full stadiums to really progress their careers forward, both individually but also as a federation. So big moments for U.S. soccer and for Morocco.
Morocco with its back in there, enjoying in France Really is a massive helping hand for them. If they do meet the French, it would be in the final. Highly ambitious there and a bit desperate from Tessmann. What a final that would be. Morocco against France. So a long way to go before that might be the last game, which will be here a week today. We're going to see France face Argentina later on today in Bordeaux. That'll be quite some occasion for many reasons. Repeat of the last World Cup final, and so much ill feeling too between those two nations right now. Talking about comebacks in the Olympic Games, there was also one incredible one in the women's event this year. It's a game where Zambia were 5-2 up with half an hour to go. Australia came back to win that 6-5. Trying to make a case, Tim, trying to be positive.
Well, when you look at those, it's just incredible games of football where anything can happen at the end. And you have to throw some numbers forward and take some risk, and just hasn't quite come off. That's what the U.S. has looked like today. Some diagonals, a couple of those came off in the early stages, but since they haven't done enough of the hard work in the middle of midfield to get turned and commit Moroccan defenders to open up the space that they want to play into. Right now, they're just playing into occupied space, and it just hasn't worked for them.
Morocco could be in once again here with Hakimi, still for the running. Got past Waibi, back towards Ben Seguir. Then in came Harriel. Hakimi knew he would have been offside, so left it, and it goes out of play for a Morocco corner.
Hakimi's just so supremely talented and experienced. I mean, it's amazing watching footballers that have that type of experience, who've played in hundreds of big matches with the best players in the world, and it shows. It shows with his confidence on the ball and his patience.
Chance to shoot here, that was deflected away and behind for a corner again.
That's what happens when you get tired, the mind goes. They only sent 2 players out, did the U.S. Morocco sent 3. Yeah, hits his hand, but it's in a natural position. His arms tucked into his body from the strike. Never a handball, so out for a corner.
It won't be a second penalty given against Harriel today. From the Cash coming on now in place of El Wadi for Morocco, who really have benefited Morocco from Hakimi being in their squad. So too Brahimi, absolute star of their game here. Of course, a different summer for them in terms of the schedule. US without some of their star names given the Copa America earlier this year. Now there will be a VAR check regarding this Harriel handball. I think surely would be extremely harsh if this is given against Nathan Harriel.
I mean, it's in a natural position. You know, you can see his arms tucked. Even his right arm is tucked in. Even if his hand is out. Wouldn't surprise me if the referee's given it.
Here's the verdict. It's going to be a penalty for a handball by Nathan Harriel. Well, it feels harsh, and he's been punished now for the second time in the game.
Yeah, you know, referee doesn't look at the first one, which I thought was probably there was less in that than in this one. And then what can you do? I've seen that thousands of times. You know, the defender turns his back. Even his right hand, even though it hits his right hand, his right arm is tucked into his body. He's not trying to make himself bigger in that position. But the referee's having himself a day and gives another penalty, unfortunately, for the U.S.
Well, Sofian Rahimi, who scored in the first half, is now off the pitch. So somebody else will take on the responsibility. And the ball has been given to Mehdi Mahoub, not long off the bench. 21 years of age from Raja Casablanca in Morocco. As we go into added time, it's 4-0 to Morocco.